This presentation covers the proposed zoning ordinance amendments brought to you by city staff in the Community Development Department along with the city's Planning Commission. This presentation will discuss the findings of the 2020 Housing Study and Strategy, the Redevelopment Ready Communities Program, or RRC, and policy supporting positive change for the future of the city. Big Rapids is a community where more residents rent their homes than they do own. While the city is not a developer and does not build housing, the city does have several roles to play in order to ensure that the residents of Big Rapids have safe and attainable housing that they wish and deserve to have. In order to better understand the demand for housing in Big Rapids, the city commissioned a housing study in 2020. This study asked, who wants to move to Big Rapids? What types of housing are they looking for? And at what price point? The results of this study compare the findings to existing housing in Big Rapids and show that there are gaps that new housing types can fill. In homes to own, homes to rent, middle housing types, which are 3 to 10 unit buildings, and large apartment complexes. The results also show that the greatest need amongst renters is for smaller units at around $700 a month in rent or less. The proposed changes to the zoning ordinance will allow development of more of these middle housing types and allow for smaller units in general. To be vibrant and competitive, Michigan communities must be ready for development. This involves planning for new investment and reinvestment, identifying assets and opportunities, and focusing limited resources. In 2017, the city of Big Rapids began the process of becoming a redevelopment ready community through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, or the MEDC. Redevelopment Ready Communities program is a voluntary technical assistance program designed to create transparent, predictable, and efficient development experiences. The RRC program has 6 best practices for redevelopment ready communities. Best Practice 2.0, zoning, evaluates a community's current zoning ordinance and how it meets community goals, enables the form and type of development that the community is seeking, and includes modern approaches to zoning. Zoning should be used to shape inviting, walkable, vibrant communities rather than inhibit them. One proposed change is regarding the C2 commercial district, our downtown, and follows Best Practice 2.3 in the RRC Best Practices Concentrated Development. Proposed standards will utilize a form-based code framework for the walkable areas where the framework is most beneficial. Another proposed change follows RRC Best Practice 2.4, Housing Diversity, and amends the residential design standards. Proposed changes allow for diverse housing types, which create unique neighborhoods, provide lifestyle options for residents of all ages and income levels, help attract talent, and provide flexibility for meeting market demand. In order to better organize RRC best practices and policies, staff have created 4 policy buckets that form the foundation to support positive change in the community. These 4 policy buckets include 1. Administrative changes, 2. District standards, 3. Housing types, and 4. Zoning map alterations. The first set of amendments are more administrative. However, these are changes to the layout of the ordinance to make it more user-friendly and include updates to certain articles in the current zoning ordinance. Article 2, definitions, Article 11, use standards, and Article 3, replacing the current principal uses and structures with a new user-friendly use table. The second set of amendments comes toward the district standards in the zoning ordinance. The district standards are currently found in Article 3 and provide regulations specific to the zoning districts. Proposed changes to the C2 Downtown Commercial District and the RR Restricted Residential District utilize a form-based code framework to ensure walkable development focused on maintaining the public realm of these spaces. Proposed changes to the other residential district, for example, R1, R2, R3, and RP districts, will right size the standards to the actual lot sizes in Big Rapids, adjusting lot areas and setbacks to make lots buildable and reduce nonconformities and exceptions. A new section is proposed to be added to Article 4, General Provisions and Design Standards, in order to include additional regulations for new buildings to ensure minimum architectural standards and provide regulations for the new residential building types. The residential building types in the proposed ordinance amendments include houses, townhomes, flats or small apartments, apartment complexes, accessory dwelling units or ADUs, and cottage courts. Several of these new additions are new and fall under the missing middle housing type category. That's somewhere between the single unit houses and the larger apartment complexes. The last proposed amendment is to the zoning map. So the zoning ordinance has two components, the zoning text and the zoning map. The text is the written ordinance, while the map is how the properties are identified and the actual zoning text is applied. Proposed changes to the zoning map would adjust the zoning of 31 different properties in order to better align them with their surrounding neighborhood and the future land use map. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. All of the proposed changes can be viewed on the city's website. A hard copy of the proposed changes is available for review at City Hall. We understand that a lot of these concepts are very complex. We've put together an array of resources that you can use to take a deep dive into the different concepts that you're interested in learning about. Please visit the links on the city website to learn more or contact city staff, Ms. Paula Preby, Community Development Director, or Ms. Emily Szymanski, Planning and Zoning Technician. Thank you again and take care.